The sea was deceptively calm as the crew of the Sea Serpent sailed through the foggy waters. Captain Maria Sanchez, a seasoned sailor with a weathered face, peered through her binoculars and spotted a shadowy outline on the horizon. "Abandoned ship ahead," she called out to her crew. Excitement rippled through the ship as the crew exchanged glances, wondering what treasures or tales the derelict vessel might hold. As they approached, the eerie silence was unsettling. The name Crimson Tide was barely visible under layers of rust and decay. With practiced precision, they boarded the ship, weapons at the ready. The air was thick with the stench of rot, and an unnatural cold seemed to seep into their bones. Maria led the way, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. "Stay close," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the creaking timbers. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the corridor. "Did you hear that?" whispered Liam, a young deckhand whose bravado was fading fast. "Stay sharp," Maria replied, gripping her sword tighter. They turned a corner and froze. Ahead of them were shadowy figures, shuffling slowly, their eyes glowing a sinister red. "Zombies!" shouted Carlos, a burly sailor with a knack for trouble. The crew sprang into action, their instincts kicking in. Swords clashed with decaying flesh, and gunshots echoed through the halls. However, it wasn't long before they realized the zombies were not their only enemies. From the shadows emerged pale, elegant figures with fangs bared. "Vampires. We need to get out of here," Maria yelled, slicing through a zombie and narrowly avoiding a vampire's grasp. The crew fought their way back to the deck. But the relentless onslaught of undead creatures seemed never-ending. Bruised and battered, they reached the ship's edge. Just as all seemed lost, Maria spotted a lifeboat hanging precariously off the side. "There!" she shouted, signaling the crew to make their escape. One by one, they clambered into the lifeboat, fending off the creatures that tried to drag them back. Maria was the last to leap into the lifeboat, cutting the rope with a swift slash of her sword. The Sea Serpent's crew watched in horror as the Crimson Tide faded into the mist, the eyes of its undead inhabitants still glowing ominously in the distance. As they finally drifted to safety, Maria turned to her crew, battered but alive. "Let's hope the next ship we find is less eventful," she said, managing a weary smile. The crew chuckled, their spirits buoyed by their narrow escape. They sailed on, the memory of the abandoned ship a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lurk within the sea's depths.